Timmy, I got a cramp trying to get in. That was awful. Today we're gonna work on a Porsche GT3. This is 2019, I believe. It's not a real crazy project. We're going to do, this is what the customer wants to see. So we're gonna do green stripes. We made the green, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this all by hand. We're just gonna use knifeless. Do it, set it up real nice, and make it look snazzy. Come do it with me. We're gonna run 2 lines of knifeless. Gonna try and keep a really nice consistent curve. Based on the pictures, we're gonna just really try and mimic exactly what was done from the factory. Comes down, it starts to curve right about here. And let's see our pictures. What do we got here? Comes down, comes down. I might give it just a fuzz more, the bend. Yep, I think we might come in just a fuzz more even. This comes down, we have a little gap, and you can see it. So here's the body line and this body line. We've got about 1.5 inch gap. It comes down and then turns pretty sharp, runs down. We're gonna run the other stripe down. Measurement-wise, we played around on the phone to try and figure out what these stripes were pretty consistently and reasonably. And this one runs almost straight down. 9 inches down to about probably 6 inches is our guess. But visually we'll be able to look at it and figure this out. So what I did beforehand is I kind of measured this, gave myself a couple little things. So I know that this is center of hood so that I can keep these stripes consistent, and then I marked 9 inches up here, and then I'm just gonna pull, trying to keep it looking consistent. Once I know this one, we're just gonna flip it and mirror the same thing on the other side. Got a little bit, I just gave us enough to have this. So we used on this IJ 175, lays really cleanly, and it's not as tacky. Recently IJ 180's just become a little excessive, and so we have swapped over to 175. Really consistent, just a little bit different setup when it comes to the adhesive on it. And, print is always really good. It's always really consistent. There we go. So when I do knifeless, I always like to press really good and make sure that when this pulls through, that it cuts really cleanly. So I want to make sure that's pressed down well. This line and this line, always just make sure, right? This one was the second one I laid. So the last line laid is the first one pulled. Line-wise, you'll see this is yellow. So this is finish line, not design line. Pull it nice and clean. Perfect. We won't worry about that right now. Come back in, pull your excess. Gorgeous. Then we're gonna come through and just go right back up this edge. Start your knifeless, and that is a pinch down, quick pull. That pulls it through this. Come here, get right to the edge, put your thumb, give it a quick pull. That won't yank your corner. As you come around, work with any curves, pull straight, don't pull at angles. Now, we've got that. Here, this is our excess. I'm gonna pull this. Super clean line here on the back. Oh, I gotta eat. A little shaky. Always pull your knifeless and wind it up in the vinyl that your excess that you pulled. That way it doesn't get caught in the wheels of your chair. It floats everywhere. You know it's a bugger. Now to finish it, I like to just give it a little heat so that when I finish these lines out, you don't see anything from the knifeless. We want it just clean. We're onto the roof. I have it set up. We found center. It runs right on this edge. I don't want to cut on the little rubber gasket, so I'm going to run knifeless right there. So we're going to leave just a thin edge there so it's super clean. And then we've got our mark for where the stripe continues, and we're going to have to narrow it down and make sure it runs right into the spoiler. So we're going to give her a heck here and see if I can figure it out. We're going to run it right there. So this is 1/8 inch. And we're gonna run it so we have just about a 1/16 all the way down. And doing it this way, it'll keep it really consistent, which is what I want. I don't want to try and run this line and have anything hand cut. Number one, I just don't really want to cut on a car, ever, if at all possible. And two, if I do it this way, I can keep that line a little more consistent, and I don't have any cutting on the car, because the rubber itself can have little wobbles in it, and if you're trying to use that to carry a line, it just is not 100%. We have these laid. It comes really consistent. The far outside line runs right into this edge. We're gonna run this one. This one comes straight up, but then it narrows down. This one does not have any roof lines, so what we have to do is work to keep it consistent and see where this is gonna run in down there. So we ran these. I actually carried this line all the way through to the spoiler. That way I knew as I was coming down like this, from here I ran it all the way through. This should be about 4 inches, 5 inches in the back, so I'm gonna double check it right now. I'm gonna lay this real quick here. Make sure we've got a little bit of pull right there. And if we got just good, clean pull on this, then we can move all the way down and just keep from, and I clean this, I also clean the backing. I wipe everything off prior to doing this so we don't have anything sinking in. Porsche green on this Porsche GT3. I'm gonna pull it out, pull another rig in, but this was a fun project. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Maybe you got a little tip or trick to make your next set of stripes.